Good afternoon. Just posting again, and this time showing you a little bit more about the radiation numbers and where they come from and what they mean. I'm pretty sure you guys could easily find this anywhere else on the internet. I just try to pull it together and make sense of it better myself, so that maybe just through my explanations someone else might be able to understand it a little bit easier. But I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of stuff out there. Even the image I'm going to show you shortly is excellent. I mean, it makes perfect sense to me. But some of the math is kind of tricky because of the terms and the numbers that you get from different places, like millisieverts and nanograys and all that stuff. What does it mean and where does it come from? This is not all inclusive. I'm nowhere near a radiation expert or nuclear physicist or anything like that. And even my career field, I don't even touch that stuff. I'm a computer guy, a computer engineer. That's all I do. And even then, it's networking stuff. So I don't even have to do this kind of calculation, this kind of math. But this next slide that you're looking at is a measurement of millisieverts, and their acronym for it is a lowercase m, capital S, lowercase v is a millisievert. A sievert itself is a radiation level. The math goes that 1 millisievert is equal to 0.001 sievert. And so some sites show 4.5 sieverts as a lethal dose, and others go 6, and like this slide shows 7 and 10, and I also say 6 to 10, so I was trying to give a happy medium that can kill you. That'll cause some serious death. The next one that I saw on that image, you know, I mean, you can read it yourself, is most of these are annually and some are hourly, and the ones that are annually, they'll tell you annually. So like an average human being, they only get 2.4. That's what it says. On average, anyone around the world, on average, this isn't everywhere, because the U.S. say in some parts it's 5 millisieverts, in other places it's higher. Like if you live in Colorado, in the higher mountains and the higher elevations, it's a higher radiation level because you're closer to the atmosphere. So, or extraterrestrial radiation, whatever that means. But anyways, so what is the difference between a millisievert and a sievert? So I show the math right there. 1 millisievert is equal to 0.001 sievert. And then if you look at what is 10 sieverts, like the maximum, like the chart saying you'll be dead in with 10 sieverts per hour. That is 10,000 millisieverts. So all you have to do to get 10,000 millisieverts is multiply 10,000 times 1 millisievert, which is 0.001, and you get 10 sieverts. I hope that makes sense to you. If not, you can just look at the image. Next slide is, you're gonna maybe find this kind of interesting, but it's a live update. I don't know how live it is, probably about every 10 minutes or so or less it updates, and I'm assuming that this is an hourly thing. The site doesn't really say clearly, or maybe I just don't see it. But I look at it just to see what the actual readings are of radiation that's in the air. So, and this is all measured in nanograys. So grays have to do with the effect of radiation on the human body. So, and what your body receives. And the way I looked at it was pretty much a nanogray is exactly the same as a nanosievert. They just changed the terminology around. I could be wrong on that, but that's kind of what I get as the gist of it. So what is a nano? A nano is 1/billionth of a place, you know, back behind the decimal place. So if you add 9 zeros behind the decimal spot and then put your number there, that's 1/billionth of a sievert, or 1/billionth of a gray. So let's say you got 2.4 nanograys as your average, but or 1. We'll just keep it simple. 1. You got 1 nanogray. What is it? It's going to be 0.9 zeros and 1. That's 1 nanogray. Or actually, that's one. That's what would be 1 sievert. So it'd be 0.000000009 zeros and a 1. That's a sievert. Or their measurement equivalent of a sievert. It's not even nowhere near 1 sievert. It's like 1/1000th of a sievert. You know what I'm saying? I hope you understand what I'm saying. The next thing is, like I said, grays are nothing more than just a measurement based on radiation that's affecting the human body. Okay, and last slide. So with all that and what it's given you and what it means, is you take the radiation numbers that they're giving you, it's live updates, and so the reason why you look at that site and some of them aren't showing, you have to consider that some of those areas were completely wiped out. So I'm thinking that those radiation towers where they had their little antenna on top and was detecting radiation got wiped out. So those antennas that would normally be broadcasting to the site and updating it on a regular basis are not there. That's why it's not updated. It's not that they're not reading radiation levels in that area, because they are. It's just that those towers that used to be there are no longer there. So I hope that makes sense to you too. So the average person receives 2 millisieverts per year. So I broke it down so that you would see what it is per, per hour of a sievert. Like I said, it's just simple math. I'm trying to show a basis of how much radiation you're actually getting, and you'll see that at the end, it's really nothing that you're getting, on a daily basis, an hourly basis. So 2.4 is the average, right? And then you break that down into hourly. So what is an average time? The basic math is 24 times 365 days a year, right? 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, not including leap years and all that happy math. I'm just doing just non-leap years, so that's 8,760 hours in 1 year. And then you take your numbers together and you get 0.000274. I just kind of rounded it up, and that's how many millisieverts that you get per year. Now, if we convert millisieverts to sievers, you have to move the decimal place a couple more zeros up. So now you have 6 zeros in your number. That's a sievert per hour. So you're basically you're getting microsieverts of radiation per hour, micro levels in the millionths with a th, like very, very, very minuscule amounts of radiation on the average. So when you look at the numbers and they say, oh, the radiation level is 10 million times the level of an on average. Well, what is an average? What kind of average measurement are we talking about? Annually, hourly? Because you can see there's a huge difference between here is annually at 2.4 and here is hourly at 1 micro, or 2 micros. So what are we talking about as an average? They don't tell you what an average is. But in any case, that's on the inside of that, that reactor in that puddle. Or they call it a puddle. I call it a pool. So the numbers are really high. It's not safe. So, but also looking at radiation and the life expectancy and stuff like that. I kind of wrote down some notes as I was taking notes today, and the iodine-131 has a life expectancy or half-life expectancy. So whatever the contaminant level is per liter, or however they're measuring it, will be half as strong in 8 days, because that's what the math shows, is it takes 8 days for the radiation level to drop half as strong as what it was. That's why it's called half-life. It's not completely gone. It just breaks down half, and then from that total before it was, now it's a quarter, and you see what I'm saying, as you add up time. Cilium, and they said 132 and 137 was detected in water. It says by a lot of these other, like MIT websites and stuff like that, I looked this information up, it says the life expectancy of Sicilium is 30 years. And I'm just reading my notes here. Plutonium 238 is 24,000 years. And someone referred me to a book. I can't really read the whole book, and I'm not going to buy the book. It's like an excerpt from the book. And it's like one of those kind of like an Amazon preview kind of thing. You can only see a couple pages. So I read in there, and there it was like rapid plutonium removal. So this isn't removing cobalt or iodine or cesium. So it's only removing plutonium, and plutonium is pretty bad. So this is what you would do in like freshwater environments or salt water in this case. So they would put a magnesium dioxide, and supposedly magnesium dioxide is basically like a sponge. It absorbs all those ions of radiation or plutonium radiation to it, and because magnesium is not light and it's heavy, it will sink to the bottom. So, and also radiation, plutonium or particles by themselves are already heavy. That's why boiling it's not necessarily going to help you. Letting it sit is not really necessarily going to help you, because those molecules they continue moving. But anyways, cobalt 56 has a life expectancy of 77 days, half-life expectancy. And so that is it as far as those notes go for the basic chemicals that they're talking about. We're not talking about everything else, but I'm pretty sure that the sea, the ocean itself, has plenty of natural reoccurring magnesium that's in the ocean itself. So it would automatically take care of itself as far as the radiation of plutonium and all these other chemicals would probably get absorbed by what's in there. So nature will take care of itself. No matter what man may do to Earth, Mother Nature will clean up itself. It will take care of itself. So, and I'm a believer at that. At the same time, we still got to be good stewards of what's given to us. So, with that being said, another article someone asked me to look up is Haarp. What is Haarp and the definition of it, and in great detail, doing extensive research on it. I didn't have that kind of time to do that kind of research. You're more than welcome to do all this research on your own, but Haarp, they're saying, or they're trying to blame on all the major earthquakes and major catastrophic events. And definitely, I do not believe in that at all, because Haarp is, it's a military / scientific experiment of radio frequencies into outer space, basically. Has nothing to do whatsoever with what they're claiming as they sent these frequencies, and it basically is like a military weapon in outer space that can either cause earthquakes in the galaxy or on Earth, and that's the reason why Katrina happened, or that's the reason why global warming's happening, or that's the reason why this earthquake happened here, an earthquake happened there, and this magnitude and caused a tsunami. I think it's a bunch of bullshit. But that's just my opinion. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, right? So do your own research, look at it, and make sure you look at the accreditation of that person that's saying this stuff. I mean, yeah, you can't really verify who I am and what my accreditations are, and frankly, yeah, I would be kind of leery of myself too if I was just looking at, I just started looking at this guy talking on YouTube. He's got no accreditation, and I'm not going to give you my name, I'm not going to give you any of my accreditations, because I like my privacy. So, but at the same time, yes, I'm putting myself out in the public. I understand that. But that's why I put the disclaimer. I'm not a nuclear scientist. I'm not a super dude into any conspiracy theory type stuff or movements or cults. I'm just a normal guy with common sense that looks at things logically and open-mindedly, but I don't. That's way far-reaching. To me, it's way far-reaching to say that one particular entity that's funded by the government or whatever is causing earthquakes. Seriously, the Earth will continue to move no matter what we do to it, unless we do create a bomb strong enough that might stop or slow down or alter our axes or whatever. You know, the nuclear explosion thing. Supposedly, if enough nuclear weapons go off, you'll mess up the rotation of the Earth or the magnetic poles or whatever. I don't know. Could happen. It's a theory. It's still a theory. Has it happened? Probably not. So that's my 2 cents on all this. I'll provide the links to the image that I have in my slide, and I'll also provide the link to the radiation levels that are live. You can log in and you can look at it yourself. It might come up Japanese. Just click on the English tab if you want English. But I'm sorry, it's only 2 languages. I don't have Spanish or Chinese or wherever you're from. It's only in 2 languages, Japanese and English. NHK, I look at NHK frequently. I also check out all news channels, but I don't go for face value. Just like all this stuff I'm telling you, I don't just look at face value. I'll go out and I'll research it. I'll look for that person with a PhD who's written a book and do the research. And that's what I'm bringing to you, is what I found out. Maybe my translation's wrong. If it is, correct me. Correct my math. Look at my stuff. Look at this. Look at the websites. Go to MIT. Go to some university somewhere, a legitimate university, not some Joe Schmo player haters degree, PhD. That's from ICP anyway. And don't come up with some BS trying to tell me I'm wrong. Prove it to me. Show me in a book that is accredited, that's recognized nationally, probably by the science, by science bureaus and other scientists as legit. And then I'll look to it and I'll say, okay, yeah, I need to make my corrections, and I'll come back on YouTube or I'll post something up there and say, yes, I was wrong, here's my corrections. Because I'm more than happy to say I'm wrong. So I'm not right all the time. You shouldn't believe everything that you hear from anywhere, especially me. I mean, it's not like I'm trying to fill you with a whole bunch of bull. I'm not trying to get ratings. Maybe subscriptions. If you want to subscribe, cool, subscribe. But what's a subscription cost you? I mean, seriously, on YouTube, when have you ever paid for a subscription? Never. You probably won't, ever. So, I mean, it's a free thing to do. Your free will to click subscribe. Whether you watch me or you don't, it's just, that's it. I'm not looking for ratings. I'm not trying to get founded by nobody. I'm not trying to be the next Justin Bieber or whatever. I'm not that. So take it for what it is. I'm just trying to share information, share insight. I get a lot of responses from a lot of people, coworkers, stuff that's not necessarily posted up on YouTube that people read, but I get a lot of emails from a lot of people all the time telling me, keep it real, keep up the good work, do your research, and keep posting. And that's what I plan to do. But I'm not gonna necessarily do what everybody tells me to do. I'll probably be doing my own thing. After a while, I'll probably run out of things to research on this nuclear power plant, because in my mind, I'm kind of worn out. I've read a lot of crap, and my brain's just fried. I'll share tidbits, probably like what is global warming. I don't believe in it. I think it's completely BS, and it's just a whole bunch of bullshit to sell people on the idea of the reason why the grass is green. So in the carbon footprint thing, I've never believed that from the beginning. I understand, and I do believe that we need to keep, like I said, keep good stewards of our property, keep good stewards of our environment, and treat the earth as though you want it to be treated. So don't be throwing your trash out the window. Don't pour canisters of radiation, if you're a nuclear power plant, in the ocean. Learn to clean up after yourself. So and I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to say too much. But stay tuned.